There are some dishes that are more than just food. They are memories, emotions, and stories passed from one generation to the next. For me, Nihari is exactly that, a slow cooked, deeply spiced dish that warms you from the inside out. Today's recipe is very special because it's not just about how to make nihari, it's about the journey behind it, the search for that one unforgettable taste, and finally recreating it in my own kitchen. If you love comfort food, rich gravies, and recipes that carry history in every bite, you are in the right place. So, let's get started. My earliest memories of nihari go back to my university days. Those were simpler times, long lectures, late nights, limited budgets, and an endless love for good food. I still remember one morning when a friend showed up with a big takeaway container of Zahid's Nihari. If you know, you know. Zahid's Nihari has a reputation of its own, rich, indulgent, and unforgettable. We sat together, half asleep, dipping fresh naan into the thick, aromatic gravy. That first bite stayed with me. From that day on, I have been chasing that exact taste. I have tried Nihari at different places, in different cities, but something was always missing. Either the depth wasn't there, or the spices didn't quite hit right. And then one day, I decided, instead of searching for that taste outside, why not try creating it myself? Before we start cooking, let's talk about where Nihari actually comes from. Nihari traces its roots back to the Mughal era in the royal kitchens of Old Delhi. The word Nihari comes from the Arabic word nahar, which means morning. Traditionally, Nihari was cooked overnight on very low heat and eaten early in the morning. It was a dish meant for warriors and laborers, something hearty, nourishing, and powerful enough to fuel a long day. Over time, Nihari became a staple in Delhi, Lucknow, and later Karachi, evolving slightly in every region. What remained the same was the method: slow cooking, marrow rich meat, and a carefully balanced spice blend. Nihari isn't rushed, it demands patience and rewards you generously for it. So today, we are honoring that tradition. This is not a shortcut Nihari, but it's not exactly an overnight Nihari too, but it is slow, intentional, and deeply flavorful. We are using tender meat, not the marrow meat, but tender fillet meat, spices, freshly ground masalas, and plenty of time. Every ingredient has a role to play, and together they build layers of flavor. Now, we begin by gently frying our meat in oil. As it hits the pot, you can hear that sizzle. That's flavor being locked in. We coat the meat with our spices, making sure every piece is well seasoned. Then we start frying our spices. This step is crucial. It wakes up the aromas and sets the foundation of the dish. We cook them low and slow until they are perfectly nice. That is where the depth starts building. Now comes patience. Water goes in, the flame goes down, and we let the nihari do its thing. The slow simmer allows the meat to soften, the, the meat to melt, and the gravy to thicken naturally. This is the stage where memories come flooding back. Standing over the pot, stirring occasionally, I'm reminded of those university mornings, sharing nihari with friends, laughing and talking about life. As the nihari reaches its final stages, we add the thickening agent, giving it that signature silky texture. The oil rises to the top, the gravy turns glossy, and you know this is it. A gentle stir, and we let it rest. Nihari always tastes better when it's given a little time to settle. When I first tasted this for the first time, I knew instantly this was the flavor I have been chasing for years. Rich, balanced, soulful. I had finally found it right in my kitchen. Serve your nihari hot with fresh naan, a squeeze of lemon, sliced ginger, and green chilies. This is comfort food at its finest. If you have ever tasted nihari and fallen in love with it, I hope this recipe brings you that same joy. And if this is your first time trying it, welcome. You are about to experience something truly special. If you enjoyed this recipe and the story behind it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.